This video is for the Margaret Sutton exhibition at the University of Mary Washington. This watercolor, painted in 1942, displays Margaret Sutton's experimentation with other styles of painting while also building on the training she received from Hans Hofmann. Here, the figure of a woman knitting on a bench has been abstracted by transforming the linework and shading of the element into strategically placed patches of color. These patches draw on Hofmann's color theory, with certain sections drawing the viewer into the figure, suggesting depth, while others push the viewer away, implying closeness. This, combined with an application to a human form, suggests that Sutton came into contact with the style of Fauvism, most notably associated with the painter Matisse. This image of a woman with a veil was painted by Matisse in 1927. It displays a similar use of divided sections of color to portray differences in light and darkness. Sutton most likely viewed works like these at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, where she encountered many other styles of painting. Hofmann and Matisse were not the only influences on this work, though, as, like all artwork, it came into being in a specific moment in history, and as such was affected by the state of the world at the time. This watercolor is notable for its historical context. Being dated to 1942, it naturally comes after December 7th, 1941. Therefore, after the United States' entry into the Second World War. Along with this must be considered how public attitudes and lifestyles changed during the war years. Though the United States was better off than others, there were still sacrifices to be made on the home front. A noticeable element of this work is its darker background and the opacity of its elements, which sets it apart from many of the airy dreamscapes of Sutton's works. This, combined with the withdrawn expression of the woman, is reflective of the attitudes of the war years, which for Sutton involved a dedication to the war effort. The subject itself may be a fellow New Yorker coping with one of the wartime policies of fabric rationing. Women were encouraged to wear garments which used less cloth and make do with homemade accoutrements. While Sutton painted during the war, she also did her part to support the fight against fascism. Putting her artistic talents to work, she became a technical draftsperson for Grumman aircraft. This career change affected Sutton's artwork, as can be seen through the background tones of this work, as well as the deconstructed nature of Squared Bird, also in this exhibition. After the war, Sutton left Grumman Aircraft, and the traits of the wartime paintings were exchanged for the dreamlike stylings of her other artwork. The wartime movement of Margaret Sutton shows how dynamic she was as an artist, and how despite difficult times, she was able to turn the world around her into inspiration. All this while helping to design aircraft which would win the war and bring peace back to her life.